Meeting will now come to order. I'll have the secretary call the roll.
Sergeant Shiddick,
Here.
Mr. Rowe,
Yeah.
Mr. Stillion,
Yeah.
Mr. Hall.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. I assume everybody's read the minutes from the last meeting. If so, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion. Second.
Motion made and seconded to accept the minutes from the last meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? And it's a vote. I'll now open the public hearing, number 860, establish resident parking on Borough Ave for the entire street.
You want to take it out of order, you just,
And just do this one. It's the one, only one that's here. So, the public hearing is now open. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this petition? Anyone here to speak in favor? Is there anyone here to speak in favor? Seeing none, I'll close that portion of the hearing. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Anyone here to speak in opposition? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Seeing none, I'll close that portion of the hearing. What are the wishes of the board?
I'll make a motion to approve resident parking on Borough Ave.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded to approve resident parking on Borough Ave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? And to vote. All right, now on to new business. We'll start with the busiest one.
Oh,
Number 863, establish a right turn on red after stop on Dungeon Ave at the intersection of Walnut Street. Would you like to speak on it?
Yep. Jay Walsh, the Wood Council for the area. I've had a lot of complaints about the established no turn on red from Dungeon Ave onto Walnut Street, but also understanding that one of the residents that lives there needs to have some relief of getting out of their driveway. I'd like to see if we could propose a right turn on red after stop. Try to help still give the neighbor that's there the opportunity to get out of the driveway, but try to keep the traffic flowing in that area. The traffic's been backing up Dungeon Ave, and as a side effect, there's been a lot of people honking their horns and things like that. If that would be a suggestion the committee would entertain.
I'll make the motion to put that on for public hearing and to immediately put an emergency preamble to put a sign up right away.
So the ordinance is basically to revoke the right turn on red and go back to the way it was before, because right turn on red after stop is what you normally do,
Is
correct?
what you're supposed to do even without a sign, so
But we can certainly put a sign up to,
Yeah, if we could put a sign and
But emergency, take those signs down right away with a preamble, get those signs down like as soon as we can.
yeah, if we could. I've had a lot of phone calls.
If you're out there tonight,
And it just one other thing, if there was any enforcement that could be done, I know, we're kind of stretched thin in that department, but if there was an opportunity, the neighbors that were having the issue with people pulling out and not getting out of the driveway asked that, if we could. Just suggestion.
So the motion would actually be to rescind the no turn on red and to assist with traffic flow, to establish a sign there, a right turn on red after stop
correct. And
There is-
emergency to get the signs down right away.
with an emergency preamble. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, there's motion made and seconded for a public hearing with a preamble. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? And it's a vote. All right, now we'll go back up. Number 862, establish a three-way stop at the intersection of Moulton Street and Walnut Street. Counsel, would you like to
Yeah.
say something?
Thank you. I appreciate you coming down, Officer Shinnick and Commissioner Hall, to take a look at Moulton Street. Been getting calls for 2-3 years now about accidents at that intersection, and we tried to suggest a few things, and we looked at a one-way, and we thought after look that might cause problem, the side street there, Amory Street, I believe, and we thought a three-way stop sign might help alleviate some of the problems in that intersection. There's accidents there, probably not the most, of the intersections in the city, but there are kids there, and they do have I get calls, every couple months about an accident at that intersection. So this might help that. I think it'd be a great idea to try. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to set it down for public hearing.
I'll second that one.
Motion made and seconded to set that down for a public hearing for the three-way stop at the intersection of Moulton Street. All those in favor?
Right?
Those opposed? It'll be set down for a public hearing. I guess the third one is the Pleasant Street.
That's it.
Number 865, establish a no turn on red on Pleasant Street at the intersection of Tremont Street. Council, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I'd like to see if we could do that. The elderly are trying to cross the street right there at the crosswalk, and people are turning right on red, and some of them are their walkers and wheelchairs. They're not seeing them, and they're not paying attention. They're trying to take their right on red and almost hitting some of the elderly. And another suggestion was they would like to know if we could do another crosswalk more towards the Vaughn Street end, in case they still have this problem, if another crosswalk could go on that street.
A crosswalk would be something the DPW could look
Just
into,
put in.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I will say that that intersection is, that signal is going to be replaced by the new construction of the YMCA down there. So that will make it better down there, I think. I think they need a dedicated pedestrian
Yeah,
phase across the street.
Mike Donovan, and they're looking to see if they can make the time longer, because walking across the street and walkers, they can't get across the street by the time, the length of time they have.
Make a motion to set that down for a public hearing.
I'll second it.
Now, that corner, just to clarify, would be traveling east
From the commons
from the
towards the
commons
ocean.
down, right?
For public safety, I wonder if we should put an emergency on the sign just to get it up right away. If we can both put that sign up. Yeah, I was down there the other day, and it is tough for the elderly. And
can I-
a motion to emergency preamble, put the sign up.
You can just,
How do we, can I
Just
redo
add
my
into
motion?
it.
So my motion will be to set it down for a public hearing with an emergency preamble, such that I can get the sign down. Toot sweet.
motion's been made, is it seconded?
Seconded, yep.
Motion made and seconded to set that down for a public hearing. All those in favor?
All right.
Those opposed? And it would be set down for a public hearing.
Ned, do you want to see if they were here for something that they missed?
I was going to ask. We've already done some things, so what do you,
Got caught in traffic. We're here for the hearing that Jay Walsh told us to come down about.
Dungeon Ave?
Yes.
Already done.
Jay did a great job. He convinced us to change
We
it.
get stuck in traffic.
You were stuck in traffic.
Sorry about that, but I think it's what you probably
We're all
wanted
set?
anyways. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Good night.
All right, we'll go back to the top of the list, number 861, establish no parking, drop-off, and pickup only in front of 516 and 520 Essex Street. We have,
We have a letter from Habitat Plus Incorporated, People Learning Useful Skills. My name is Susan Campbell, and I am the owner of 2 properties at 516 and 520 Essex Street in Lynn, Mass. And I am also the executive director of Habitat Plus Incorporated, a nonprofit organization which is located at these 2 properties. Our nonprofit provides supportive housing to psychiatrically disabled veterans who would otherwise be homeless. We have been operating our group home at 516 Essex Street since 1989, and the cooperative apartment program at 520 Essex Street since 1993. We serve 14 veterans between the 2 buildings. Several of them live in these supportive housing programs. Several have lived in this supportive housing program for over 10 years. And now, as our veterans have begun to age out, many have developed ambulatory issues, and as a result, they use the ride to get to and from medical appointments in their day treatment programs. So as you can imagine, there is a lot of picking up and dropping off of disabled persons in front of the 2 buildings. Our issue is this. Over the years, we have noticed an increase in vehicle parking on Essex Street. Many times the vehicles are vans and buses from North Reading Transportation Company on Stewart Street. As we have a tall wrought iron fence with a gate surrounding the house, which was built in the 1800s, the gate opening was not designed to fit modern-day vehicles, so the ride vans do not easily fit through our gateway. We have had more than a few vehicles damage the wrought iron gate trying to drop the veterans off in the driveway. The problem is when there are other vehicles parked in front of our residence, The ride vehicles are forced to double park in the middle of the street with cars whizzing by our veterans as they enter and exit the vehicles, some of whom are using walkers and canes. The ride personnel are very good with our veterans and do the best they can under the circumstances, but this practice is just a prescription for a disaster. Therefore, as a result of the above problem, we are respectfully requesting that the City of Lynn help us avoid a crisis and to help us keep our veterans safe. Perhaps resident parking only or a yellow no parking curb for approximately 12 feet on either side of our driveway. This would enable the transportation ride to pull right up to the curb out front and let the veterans exit in a much safer fashion. We are hopeful that the Lynn Parking Department will work with us to come up with a safe solution to this program. If there is anything we can do to assist the city in granting our request for assistance, please do not hesitate to contact us. We look forward to hearing from you. Sincerely, Susan Campbell, Executive Director.
Mary, did I hear in there they described it spatially, like so many feet from something, and
By the fence.
I'm just thinking that the more they can spell it out where they would like this, the better from installing a sign standpoint, because like she says in the letter, parking is a challenge down there. And
Challenge.
right, as soon as you know,
Once you clear that second property, there's a driveway for that second property, and then there's another house in the back, and that driveway begins right next to it. There's no space there. And I think there's a no parking to this corner at
No
James
parking in the
Street.
corner.
Yeah, there is no parking.
So you're
in
really
that
looking
area.
at
It's
like
tough.
3 spots
And there's a
there.
sign up, no parking
Yeah.
in the corner. Yeah.
Once you clear that second house, it's a private driveway to a house that's, on an angle in there.
Yeah.
And then the next is 534 Essex parking lot. So,
I'll make a motion to set that down for a public hearing.
Okay, do you want it to be no parking or no parking, drop off and pick up only?
I don't think it makes a difference, does it? No parking.
The drop off pickup, you did that for the elderly apartment across from
Correct.
Cal's, and it
Yeah.
worked out very well for them.
I like the idea of the drop-off and pickup, because that's what, looks like it's Reading Transport, or the ride, trying to get in there and get these veterans and stuff like that, so, I mean, I like the idea of the drop-off and pickup only.
Just like it's worded then.
Yeah.
So that's what you're making, Andy?
Yes, please.
I'll second that.
All right, motion made and seconded to set it down for a public hearing for no parking, drop-off and pickup only in front of 516 and 520 Essex Street. All those in favor?
right.
Those opposed? It will be set down for a public hearing.
64.
864, Traffic Commission input regarding the installation of traffic lights at the intersection of Oakwood Ave and Chatham Street.
Do we have a letter?
Input being what? Input being, is it needed, perhaps?
There was a lady that sent this to the council, and then I got the email. Mary, Councilor Trahant received a complaint regarding speeding vehicles on Oakwood Ave. The resident said the vehicles are going through the stop sign, and she is concerned with school starting and the safety of the preschool children. The resident asked Councilor Trahant if the city can install a traffic light. Councilor Trahant would like the Traffic Commission's input if a traffic light should go there.
Refer it to Mike, doesn't he do traffic lights? Maybe some police presence would be a better,
Yeah, I mean, the stop sign's been there forever. I know there's a crossing guard on that corner too during the morning,
Is there
because it's one way.
flashing light there, or no?
No,
Nothing.
there's no light
I
there.
can't remember if there's a flash or not, but,
No, there's not.
I mean, personally, I don't know, but I don't think the city can afford putting in traffic signals right now.
traffic signals
but-
is a lot of, and there's spots that really have fatalities that need them, and they're still trying to get them.
I know, it's kind of on a bend there too,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's a tricky spot, no doubt.
Yeah.
People go fast on Chatham Street, and
But I don't even know if that's in our purview.
Yeah.
I would think you could refer it to ISD.
To ISD, yeah, because I think they would actually be the ones to determine whether they could afford to put one in there or not,
Yeah,
correct?
Yeah.
they may have to do a study on it too.
Mhm.
yeah, you'd have to make sure it met the warrants.
So I'll make a motion to send it to ISD.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to forward it to ISD for their input. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? And that's what we will do. Send it to ISD. 866, establish 2 stop signs, one on Lake Ave at the intersection of Gage Street and one on Lake Ave at the intersection of Bowler Street.
This came in from a Mr. William Donahue, 41 Lake Ave. My name is William Donahue, and I live at 41 Lake Ave, where I've lived since 1996. In recent years, I've noticed an increase in heavier traffic coming from Maple Street onto Lake Ave and then onto Bowler Street, and that's okay. The problem I'm having is people speeding. I live on the dead-end part of Lake Ave, and when they come up Lake Ave from Maple Street and enter the dead-end part of Lake Ave, they're doing close to 30 miles per hour. I myself have had many close calls backing out of my driveway from cars coming both ways, and my neighbors have also had the same problem. My grandchildren are constantly watching for cars as they ride their bikes, and it's at the point where I won't even let them ride because of the cars and the fear of them getting hit. My wife's parked car was recently hit by a neighbor coming up from the dead-end part, causing close to $5,000 of damage, and it was estimated she was going close to 35 miles per hour because of the damage. There is a stop sign at the corner of Bowler and Lake, but nobody stops at it. They just roll right through, not even bothering to look down the dead-end part for cars coming, causing many close calls also. I would like to petition the commission to install a stop sign on the corner of Lake Ave and Gage Street on Lake Ave, and also on the corner of Lake Ave and Bowler Street on Lake Ave, to try and slow down these cars. I would be willing to come before the commission to try and clarify my meaning and requests for these signs. Thank you in advance, William J. Donahue, 41 Lake Ave.
So I imagine he's looking for one on Lake Ave, traveling away from the pond at Bowler?
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
No, I mean, because that could also be interpreted as
The
going
other
the other
way, yeah,
way,
but-
which,
Which is, I think you're right. I think he's looking for one at Gage Street here, coming up Bowler, and then, coming up Lake, and then another one coming up Lake this way at Bowler here, making, stops on all these corners. Now, I spoke to him, and his big concern was about speeding, and I did explain to him that as of right now, there's no signage, and it is by state law 30 miles per hour, although we have passed the other
25,
ordinance for 25. We haven't had the signs to put up yet, and we haven't actually made the public aware of all of that, but hopefully it was coming soon, and he seemed to be, better about that. I wouldn't have a problem maybe having a stop sign coming up from the pond, but I think if we put one in the middle
Why don't
where
we-
Gage Street is,
Wait on it and
it would be crazy,
okay, so why don't I make a motion to set down for a public hearing, a stop sign on Lake Ave, I guess we're going to call it southbound at Bowler Street. One stop sign.
One stop sign. Okay.
I'll second it.
All right, motion made and seconded to establish a stop sign on Lake Ave at Bowler, traveling southbound on Lake Ave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? We'll set that down for public hearing. 867, establish no parking here to corner on Eastern Ave at the intersection of Williams Ave.
How's that in addition to the state law? that
I
it's-
assume that the state law would cover, and we didn't even have to do it as long as it was, the 20 feet. It was only if we went beyond that we'd have to,
20 feet, you can just put up a sign, is my
Yeah.
understanding.
Is there more to the request than this, or
No. Do you want me to read the letter?
sure.
That's what he wants.
he wants to sign up?
Just-
Yeah. To whom it may concern, I drive down Williams Ave to Eastern Avenue almost every day. There is a car or truck parked on the corner of Eastern Avenue and William Street that is blocking the view of traffic that is coming through the intersection. I have had many close calls that endanger my safety. I have called several times about this problem, and people I talk to say they will send someone to give them a ticket for parking too close to the corner. I am requesting a no parking from here to corner sign to be put up so the traffic officers will not have to get a phone call from me every day to put a ticket on the car that is causing a safety problem. Every other intersection on that side of the street, all the way down to the ocean, has a sign saying no parking from here to corner. The intersection of Easton and Williams Ave is close to the traffic signals on Essex and Easton and need a stop sign so no one will be injured.
So you can just put that up, Andy, right?
Okay, so
Drive
Williams is a one-way heading towards Eastern, correct?
Correct.
So he wants it on the Essex Street side? If it's blocking?
Correct,
If it's
yes.
blocking,
He's blocking his
The line
view
of
trying to
sight.
get out.
Drive down to Williams and try to drive onto Easton yourself and see. One look is worth 1,000 words. Robert Myra, 11 Elmore Street, Lynn.
So you can just put that up though, right? Rather than have a,
yeah. I just want to make sure that that's,
where you want to put it.
and that it,
That's what
That's
sounds
what
like
you
what
want,
he wants. So we'll just refer that to the DPW.
Perfect.
Second.
I'll second.
Yeah.
Motion made and seconded, refer to the DPW. All those in favor?
All right.
Those opposed?
I'm in favor.
Great
I
job.
was-
All right, under old business,
Nope, you still have
Oh.
868H.
I don't have an H.
I haven't.
Oh,
Because you didn't take my new and improved.
the new and approved, all right. 868H, establish no parking here to corner or no parking on Halford Place.
So they've asked for a few things here. Dear Traffic Commission, I am a resident of Halford Place. I have lived here for 13 years, and the parking at the bottom of the street is a disgrace. We desperately need no parking signs or no parking here to corner. It is very dangerous for everybody. If you drive, you cannot see if anything is coming, and if you are walking, it's just as bad. Twice within a week's time, no matter how slow I walked out of the street, and my granddaughter in a carriage were almost hit. This is a serious safety issue. Also, my neighbors needed an ambulance. They could not make the corner, so they started running up while drivers had to make at least 6 attempts before he could get up. The time wasted could be a matter of life and death. Again, a safety issue. Then last week, the trash men couldn't get up the street, so they had to walk up and drag all the barrels down. They should not have to do that, and it was because cars were parked on both corners at the end of the street. I spoke to Waste Management. They will do the best that they can, but it becomes a safety issue, especially in the winter. They will not be able to get trash if they can't safely get up and down the hill, which that causes another problem. No trash pickup, which will then cause a sanitary issue. Also, in winter, they have to use a bucket loader plow, which is a huge piece of equipment. That's the only way they can plow our hill. But if they can't get up the hill because of cars on corners, we will not get plowed.
So she's asking, these signs are actually going to go on North Common Street, correct?
No,
No,
Halford Place, which is up in the Highlands off of East Highland.
Okay, I'm on the wrong street, sorry.
Now,
It's,
does she want no parking just
I
in the
have-
corners, or, because the problem is, if you're going up the street, that's narrow all the way.
It is. I have 2 more pages.
Oh, okay, sorry, Missy.
Sorry.
It's okay. Which will cause another problem because it will not be, we'll not be able to get to work, and
Where is
school buses will not be able to get up. The cars that park down, they mostly don't even live on the street, so they don't really care if we can get in and out safely or get plowed. We have asked some to please not park there, but that is useless. And maybe you could consider resident parking only signs. Also, this has been a major, a morning problem, but an ongoing problem, but it has gotten out of hand. Now our street is very small, so there is not a lot of parking for even the people who live on the street. Your help would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for your time. If there are any questions, I can be reached, and she gives a phone number. Again, this is a very serious safety issue for all of us on the street. The street again is Halford Place, a little dead end off of East Highland Ave. Thank you again, Carol Cahill, Halford Place resident.
I went up there last week. I think there are already signs on East Highland, no parking here to corner.
Yes.
But she's just looking for no parking here to corner on Halford, which, again, I think, couldn't we just refer it to the DPW and put up signs 20 feet?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to refer it to
Pass
the
it to Andy.
DPW for some no parking near the corner signs. All those in favor? Those opposed?
Just the Andy roll.
No, I'm not opposed.
I know, I'm joking.
There's no sidewalks. on the
No.
street.
It's tight up there, absolutely.
Yeah, I almost think the whole street could be one-sided or something. It's tough.
Yeah, we'll
Let's
start with the no here to corner and see if that helps out the problem up there. Under old business, number 849, to modify the resident parking within the 2-block radius of Lydia Pinkham Building. And it's been on here for a while.
Steve actually approached me on that the other day, asking that the businesses really want that, so forth and so on. If it's not gonna happen, I think they'd like to just know, but I think they'd like the board to do something so they know it's gonna happen or not gonna happen.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the councilors were opposed to it too, but I could be wrong.
I'll make a motion to deny that one.
Yeah,
I don't wanna
Motion,
file it.
All right, motion to file it.
'Cause
Motion
I
to
think
accept for the
councilor
file.
Actually, didn't they say to try it on one street temporarily or something?
The email I got was, Mary, both Councilor Lozey and Councilor Hart received a copy of the request from the Traffic Commission regarding a request from Kristen Bashan of the Clay School at 271 Weston Ave. Councilor Lozey and Councilor Hart opposed Cleveland Street only on a 3-month, approved Cleveland Street only on a 3-month trial period, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., not 6 p.m. They do not want any changes on Tucker Street. They feel there were not enough spaces for the residents.
You wanna file it, or
Sure, motion to accept for the files.
second?
motion made and seconded to accept it for the file. All those in favor?
All right.
All right.
Those opposed? Accept it for the file.
And then B, we can probably get rid of now, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to deny number 858, one-way on Moulton Street.
I'll second that.
All right, motion made and seconded to deny the,
Take it off the table first.
He made a motion to take it off the table?
I'll make a motion to take 858 off the table,
I'll second
Second,
that.
and then I'll make a motion to deny 858.
I'll second the denial.
And that's not, I mean, that's just a bookkeeping thing, really. We could
Correct.
we could revisit this if
correct.
it didn't,
If the other
if the
stuff
four-way stop
doesn't
didn't
work.
work.
2 years, if you deny it. Isn't that the ruling? If it's denied, can't come back for 2 years.
So we'd leave our options open by accepting it for the files?
For the file.
All right, why don't can I
Yeah,
retract my
modify
motion?
it. I modified my second.
Yeah, I don't want to rule anything out here, so why don't I make a motion to accept for the files number 858?
All right. Motion made and seconded
Yep.
to accept for the file. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, those opposed?
And Andy, I think I can do this off the thing, the council president's looking for a slope for a blind person. You can just do that yourself, correct?
Yeah, I would think so.
Marshall Court. Andy got his workout today. Towards the lower numbers.
Do you have an email or is it just a verbal request that he gave you?
Verbal request.
Who was it?
Darren's here.
Can you have him call me or text me and we'll
Yeah, perfect.
to figure out exactly where he wants it?
All right, seeing no other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second that?
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.